Hello, gorgeous community. I'm absolutely delighted to be bringing our next Unscripted podcast to you. With me is the gorgeous Norma and Zena and our beautiful Andrea. And the reason for this call is inspired by the most incredible session that we had. I've not done a TRE session or a TRE session before, and Andrea had offered it to us. And the four of us were together on a call, and Andrea was guiding the session with us. And for me, it was deeply profound. Well, I think for all of us. But what I'd love to first start off with is, Andrea, would you please explain what TRE is, what TRE is? Yeah.
Sure. Hi, everybody. TRE is a therapeutic tool that saved my life. First and foremost, whatever else it is, it's a somatic practice that involves releasing stress from the body. It was created some years ago, rediscovered by a brilliant doctor who saw people in war zones taking cover in bomb shelters. So he watched them while bombs were falling off. Everybody would take the turtle position really, really tight to protect themselves and would flinch at the sound of bombs. And then after the bombs would go away and you would, they would get the signal that everything was okay, the adults would stay in the same position while the children started moving and playing again. He noticed the difference. And what's going on here? Why are the children behaving differently? What are they doing? So he did some research. His name is David Berceli. And he discovered we have this natural, innate healing stress release mechanism inside our bodies as mammals. The gazelle being chased by the lion, unless it's caught, what does it do? Shakes it off and goes on and lives their lives. Animals do not keep stress inside. People do, because we tense and we keep that, and long term, it does damage. So he created the system whereby consciously you start that tremor inside to release stress. That's the short of it. And I say it saved my life because I discovered it about 15 years ago in a time where I was really burnt out and I wasn't sleeping. After 4 nights with no sleep, and because every time I would close my eyes, I would jump. I found myself in space where big rocks would come crush my head. I would feel pain from the crash. So I had panic attacks every time I feel an incredible pain throughout my body. And a host of other symptoms, but that was the most important one that was affecting me the most. And I saw an ad on Facebook, I think, was saying, well, a huge page, and at the end, it helps you sleep. I didn't care about what it's saying, so I called, and there was this lady. We are booked, and I started screaming. I don't care. I'm not sleeping. You don't understand. And I think I screamed at her for about 15 minutes. And at the end, she said, just come the way you are. We'll find a place for you. Do you mind being in a corner? I don't care. I just want to sleep. Are you sure this is going to help me sleep? She was like, just come, see for yourself. And I arrived. I got lost. It was very hot. It's a whole story. I was very angry, of course. And I did get put in a corner. And the lady said a lot of things that I didn't hear. And then she said the most important thing: focus on your body. I was like, huh? My body, who was in pain, who didn't want to take anything on, she was like, stay with your body, stay with your breath, and do nothing. What do you mean, do nothing? I need to do stuff. I need to understand. No. Allow your body to do its thing. That's all I got from the big presentation at the beginning. So I did that. It was scary. It was amazing. And my body did something. I went home and I slept for 4 hours. And that was the beginning of my adventure with TRE.
Oh, amazing. Very, very cool. And one thing that we're really, really excited about is that, with all of these energies coming in and all the polarities that are happening in the world, life just seems to be getting crazier on the outside. And it's just so important for us to be able to look after ourselves, especially somatically, to regulate our nervous systems. And we've as a community, we are creating a group especially for this, and Andreea has offered to generously um, give us a wonderful session for everybody who wants to join in this specific group. So our first group is starting very soon. But before we dive into the details of the dates and everything. Would you like to just share what the process is? What do people go through? So it's, I mean, I've heard that people use this for things like PTSD and all kinds of things. But what is the actual process that we go through? If you'd like to share that.
The actual process is really, really simple. We do 7 exercises. And when I say exercise, it's a very loose definition. It's 7 movements in a specific order that activate a tremor. And you don't do it. You don't think about it. The body does it. So it's an invitation. I call it a date with your body. So the actual process is you do 7 movements and then you get on the floor and you allow your body to let go. It's as simple as that. But of course, something simple is not always easy because it carries all the stuff we keep buried. It works with the nervous system, it works with fascia, so it works from the inside out and it goes where it has space first. Let's say you have pain in your shoulder. It won't automatically go there because it doesn't have a way to go through. So it starts wherever you invite it, you allow it. No expectations, no nothing, just you and having a conversation, a date with your body. That's all it is.
Norma, what would you like to share about the experience that we've had?
Well, I've had the pleasure of enjoying 2 sessions with Andreea. Andreea, I can't remember when the first one was, but it must be a year ago.
I think in summertime,
Okay.
June, July, I would say. That's where we had the session.
Yeah, okay. And it was amazing. And I couldn't really believe that from a series of very simple, non-strenuous, almost relaxing, little bit of stretching exercises, that I could then lie on the floor and feel these comfortable but weird shakings in my legs and then throughout my body. And it wasn't concerning. And I knew that if I wanted to, that I could stop that from happening, because Andreea was just so lovely in preparing me for that session, or us for that session. It was in a small group, and had explained what might happen, and that, we're always in control if we get concerned about anything, which was very reassuring. And I was just so curious about what is going on here. This is just so weird, but it actually felt really good, and somehow it it was a way for me to connect on a deeper level with my body. And it was almost like and this may sound weird, it was like a shared dialogue where I didn't really understand what it was saying, but I knew my body was talking to me.
That's a lovely way to
And
put it.
that with practice, it was a way for us to work in harmony and balance with each other to release shit that's not serving either of us, essentially. I mean, that's it, really, isn't it? To be able to let go of things that are not serving. And I know the first time I did it, I slept like a log. I felt amazing afterwards. And the session we did last weekend, it was like so many of the worries and concerns and that heaviness that I'd been carrying, because it's been a pretty intense start to the year. Lovely, but a really intense start to the year. And I just felt so incredibly light and really not even just happy, joyous from the inside out. And I know Andreea said, drink loads and, take it easy and whatever. And I couldn't, because there was so much going on, but it just felt so good. And yeah, I think I said to you at the end of the session, I'm hooked. That's it. I'm hooked now. I'm just hooked now. Um, Incredibly powerful. It felt very freeing and deliciously soothing and relaxing. So I can imagine developing this as a practice, could well be very freeing and very empowering. Yeah.
It is, I can tell you, it is. So my personal experience, and it's not, it digs deep. It comes in layers, so it creates space, and space meaning letting go of old trapped emotions, old trapped sensations, because we are 60 to 80% water. Water has memory. We keep everything.
Yeah.
Good and bad, it's ours, it's mine. I mean, come on. But it also releases daily stress.
Yeah.
You have a bad day, you had a bad night, you have a bad news. We tense. We cannot help it. This is how we react.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it creates that space where our nervous system say,
Yeah. And I love that we don't have to go through some form of excruciating practice to get the result. Because some of the things that I've done or do still sometimes feel really hard. And this just felt so lovely. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do a few exercises and just lie on the floor and enjoy a roller coaster, gorgeous ride with your body? Why not? I mean, it just felt so wonderful. Yeah. Simple, powerful, easy to do with, and I can imagine the benefits of doing this practice over time could be huge. Yeah.
Zina, would you like to share your thoughts and
Yeah, so
feelings?
I had come into the
Thank you, Norma.
session.
Sorry.
Lovely insights. I had come into the session not knowing anything about what we were going to do. I didn't even look it up. The reason why I didn't look it up is because I didn't know how to spell it. And as people kept on saying tray, and I'm going, okay, how do I spell that? Now we know this as TRE. So, oh yeah, I can get that. So eventually after the session, I knew how to spell it. So I looked it up afterwards and I go, oh, right, okay. So I came in completely green, not knowing what we were doing, but just trusting the process and obviously trusting Andreea. And we were doing these exercises, and I could feel myself pushing with the exercises. And I remember, Andreea, you saying, okay, you don't have to do too much, or you can slow down. Okay. So it was just almost kind of taking that fast forward pace that I'm always on, and just taking that moment to slow down and really notice and feel and be intentional about what we were doing. So from that aspect alone was incredible, because you were like slowing me down, which is really hard to do. And after the exercises, when you asked us to lie on the floor, again, I had no idea what I was thinking, doing, or expecting. And then my legs started shaking quite rapidly. Yeah. And I wasn't freaked out by it. I was just thinking, and I seem to remember, I mean, sometimes I would get those tremors, but I never thought anything about them. And obviously many, many years ago. And I wasn't really overthinking. I was going, okay, just kind of calm down. And I remember Andreea saying, don't judge if there's any discomfort or you're feeling uncomfortable, just breathe through it and let it go. And the weird thing is, I wasn't feeling uncomfortable. I wasn't feeling stressed or pushed, but I was thinking, oh my gosh, what is this? And so, as Andreea, you were encouraging us to just kind of go with it. And then I noticed other people's legs shaking and I said, so it's supposed to happen. Okay. So I started kind of, okay, go with this. And then the one stage they were really, because then I decided, okay, well, I've got to go with that. Really shaking. And I was like, And so I actually started finding that really funny. And I remember myself and Victoria just burst out laughing, because it was just kind of funny, freeing, unusual, intriguing, that the body was, taking down your body down this path that was just unusual, and you were allowing it to do it without any expectation or any judgment of it. And it was lovely. I could have stayed there for 2 hours. Like, how do I finish? So that was really lovely and really, really freeing. And at one stage, as I was kind of resting into it, because Andreea, you did give us, a generous amount of time to feel in the space. And toward the end, I noticed that it wasn't my legs only shaking, my body was starting to shake, my hips. And even though we were supported by the floor, it felt like my body was almost doing a dance, if that makes sense. And just allowing your body go with that kind of flow. And as I allowed myself to do that, then I started getting tingles up my cheek and things like that. And I thought, oh, this is really cool. So I was trying not to get over fascinated by it, because I'm sure I was like, oh, what's this? And trying to still go with the flow of it. But no, I found it really, really intriguing. But and that night I slept really, really well. And actually all week, because I'm writing a thesis at the moment, so I tend to push myself until I finish a particular chapter or whatever. So it could be like 12 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, most often. And I was finding that my eyes would not stay awake longer than 11 o'clock all week. And I'm like, I was squinting. I was saying, okay, you're gonna have to just listen to your body, because it's not allowing you to look at the screen any longer. And so there was definitely that thing that I recognized. But actually, the next day from the session, I actually had a headache for 2 days. And I also was in a really ratty mood on the Monday. But again, I just didn't think anything of it, in the sense that I kind of went with the mood, as opposed to questioning it or fighting it or judging it or trying to explain it. But I'm sure that because I'm under a lot of stress at the moment for lots of kind of work and personal life, and I think that is just my body saying, you gotta look after yourself and you gotta listen. And it's definitely given me the space to do that. Um, and I love energy work. I'd love to do more of it. I think it's really important and so well, not undervalued, but
Underrated.
underused. Yeah. So thank you, Andrea, for lots of things. Insightful
You're
for
very welcome.
everything.
So for me, it was really fun because we live in a tiny home, so there wasn't a lot of space for me to be able to do these exercises. So I ended up doing it on our bed, and it was incredible because I had like three very distinct um experiences that were quite different to each other. The first one, and the reason why I started laughing, was it felt like it felt like my body was dancing, like and I was just observing my body doing this dance. It was really fun. My pelvic area was just like doing this little jig. It was really fun. And then my legs started doing this. To just explain, we lie on our back and then we bring our souls together and we like form little butterfly things with our legs. I'm not explaining it technically. I'm just explaining it the way I experienced it. And then we lift up our knees and then they start trembling and you can lift it up. But Andrea guided us beautifully through all of that. And then my legs started like doing this, and then I went to a point where I felt like I was being cradled like a baby, and that just released such a big. I mean, I went from laughing to sobbing, just like this, which was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I love, I've done a lot of this work myself, so for me to have these nuggets come up, I'm just so deeply grateful because I know it's something that has been resolved. I know it's something that's been transmuted. And yeah, I also slept really well that night, which was super. And another beautiful thing that happened for me was during the week, I've been feeling a lot of energy in my legs. And before this session, I was kind of like resistant to it. But during the night, my legs were just tremoring by themselves, which was really, really cool. So I was really grateful for that as well. So we are delighted to be bringing this to our community, and we're going to be, Andrea is going to be hosting a session once a month for anybody who wants to join, free of charge to anybody who's within our NetNomads community. And then obviously people can reach out to her as well. She does offer a 10-week program. Yeah. And if you'd like to learn how to do this yourself, she'd guide you through 10 weeks of learning how to do this yourself in a safe space. But so you offer individual sessions, you offer couple sessions, and you also offer group sessions. What is the advantage of one or the other? Are there advantages?
It depends a lot on what people want to get out of it. I've done it in a lot of settings. I've done it inside, outside, on the bed, on the floor, on the wall. So it is possible to do it in different locations, in different positions. But in essence is meeting your body and starting a real dialogue with your body. And it's not about what I say or what I do, it's about you. Everything that happens comes from your experience, your connection with the body, your memories, your sensory input, and that's very, very personal. Some people prefer, so when you're doing it one-to-one, you learn self-regulation, you learn it anyway. You unlearn first a lot of patterns, and then you teach and train your nervous system to stay under a certain threshold and you recreate safety. And for a lot of us, safe means something else. So what is safety to you and how do you create it inside? Many of us come from weird families where safety was not discussed. it was something that was overlooked. But safety is a felt sense. No matter how much we can talk about it, we need to feel it. And we basically create this distance between mind and body. We go very high with the mind, we understand a lot, but we don't embody. So it's about embodiment. It's about coming home to you and listening, because the body always gives you signs for everything. We just stop listening along the way. And when you do it one-to-one, you get more space and you get sharing. Some people might prefer it because they have, I don't know, a deeper need to unleash. In groups, you learn to co-regulate. And I love that because our nervous system talk all the time. And when you go into a room, or even if we are virtual in the virtual space, we connect before we open our mouths. And it's interesting for me to supervise and watch, because somebody does a movement, so their nervous system are interested in something, and everybody picks it up. I'm like, okay, where does this coming from? Well, because our nervous systems are connected and curious. Can I do this? What does it look like for me? And it gives an insight into the connection we have as human beings. The intervention in TRE is touch, but that's very, very soothing. And it takes us back to a time and a place where we had no limits, no boundaries. So we relearn to touch ourselves, to hold ourselves. As couples, that's the third option. It's very interesting because it connects you to a deeper level. And it's not about sex, although it does improve your sexual life a lot. It releases from the pelvic area a lot of trauma, basically, a lot of pain. But it's about connecting at a level that's deeper than everything else. And it's nervous system to nervous system, cell to cell. And again, it is beautiful for me to watch because the information jumps from one person to another. And as a couple, you can also do touch on each other. So you learn to hold the other person in a very soothing, careful, nourishing way. So these are the differences. And for instance, I have people who prefer to jump from one to another. So they do groups, and then because they have something that comes up, they want to go deeper, and they have one-to-one sessions. During the 10 sessions, for instance, while we learn the basic, at a certain point, we will go deeper because you can work on one emotion, anger, for instance, picking, or sadness. Where does it live in the body? Can you touch it? Can you hold it? How much can you let go of it? All through invitation. We're not pushing, we're not forcing, we're slowing down. And again, that's a big lesson. We're slowing down, we're letting go. And when we slow down some more. We listen first. We listen, and then at a certain point, you will get the message. It's a conversation, an actual conversation, not a monologue that we do right now. I say and the body does.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So we are beyond excited to be bringing this to our group. We will have a special group for this. A name. We haven't even thought of a name yet, so we'll figure out all the names and everything. But there will be a space within the group for everybody who is taking part to be able to share discussions. So the format of our monthly get together is an hour of doing the TRE session. And then for those who are able to stay and share for an additional half an hour, it is highly recommended. But there will also be a space within the group on NetNomads for us to be able to share as well. So, it's initially planned for the second Tuesday of every month from 6 until 7. But, life changes. So don't hold us to that time. Within the group, the next event will always be shared as well. Norman, do you have anything that you would like to say before we wrap up this gorgeous call?
I'm just beyond excited that we've got the generosity of Andreea, who's giving up her time to share her skills and this gift with us. And I just think it's an amazing opportunity for us to explore a different way of being and dealing with the challenges that life throws at us that feels so good. So I'm really looking forward to it. Yep. And I hope we can see as many of you at the sessions as possible. Just dip your toe.
Try it. Yeah, come and try. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Even if you know nothing about it.
Especially if you know nothing about it. No words are needed. No words. One of the things that really attracted me to this is that there are no words. You don't need to talk about it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are all talked out.
Yeah. And I think also the great thing about not knowing anything about it was, you've no expectations. So there's no, one of my challenges is I try to learn everything I can about something. And then I have a certain expectation of it. And I'm just entering, pushing resistance on it. So that's why this was so enlightening, because, coming into it raw, no expectations, not even knowing. And when things were happening, I didn't even know that was part of the process. So yeah, fantastic.
Beautiful. Andreea, would you like to share with us where people can get hold of you as well? Which is the best way? Your website, for example.
Yeah. So I think you'll put all the information. There is a website, a page where you have an email address to contact me. There is a flyer I shared with everybody that Victoria will put there. Just come and be curious. There is no obligation whatsoever. The offering I'm doing is because I want people to actually have it and live with it. So it's a tool for life. And why 10 sessions and not less? 2, for instance, because we worked with the nervous system that has patterns, and we need time to unlearn those patterns and create safety. Zina mentioned that she could have done it for 2 hours. Yes, but we learn boundaries as well. In this particular practice, less is always more. And it takes a while to slow down, to breathe, to let go, to invite, because all our lives we did the opposite. And we can very easily say, yeah, I can do it. If you do it too much, you get the opposite effect. So we basically learn to take it very, very slow and to watch our body and our signals every little step we do. And it takes time, it takes practice, it takes commitment, and it takes curiosity and openness. So it's call it, and I really love it, a date with your body. And then hopefully you will get married. You live your life together. But it is like, we live apart. So bringing us all back home, for me, is the greatest win. And there will not be 2 sessions the same. So every time something else will happen.
Gorgeous. Wow. Thank you so much. And we're looking forward to having everybody in our community join at least once. Try it. As Andreea says, it's not going to be the same. So it's a wonderful opportunity for us all to have a date. I think we'll probably call it a date with our bodies.
Why not?
Super.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you so much, Zena, for joining us. And Norma, thank you. And thank you, Andrea, for this
course, pleasure.
really wonderful,
Thank
generous
you.
offer.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.